All right, what's good, y'all? So I did check out Fatal Fury, City of Wolves past weekend with the beta. Sorry I didn't post any content. There was issues I was having with the game. Um, it's a long story short. It was a lot of issues. It was a beta, so I wasn't going to complain about it. I did have some good moments. I will say that it wasn't like I couldn't play it at all, but connection wise with certain people, matchmaking, which is funny because I'm reacting to this video now. Matchmaking matters more than ever by Maximilian. I'll put the original video description below. Actually, let me like the video. Oh, I already did, but he's gonna talk about it. But as someone who's new to this SNK franchise, I will say there were some moments where I'm sitting there like, okay, I want to sit around and chill in the training room. And I know some people was justifying why they did not add a training room to the game. I'm going to tell you this. SNK, I have respect for them. Like I said, never really played much of their games, but I watched it from the background. I've mostly been Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. You know, I already shared that story. If you want, this is just my opinion. I could be wrong. That's okay. If you want to expand your fan base and add SNK games up to the level, at least close to the level of a Street Fighter, Tekken, which, let's be real, those two are running the game right now when it comes to fighting games, you're going to have to open all the gates. And what I mean by that is give us almost everything. You know, some game companies do that with their games because they're like, look, we try to get everybody happy, and, you know, we don't want failure launch. We don't want just our core fans to be playing. We want them and the casuals and newcomers to come in. I believed this game, considering how the popularity with this one compared to Street Fighter and Tekken, I believe they should have opened the floodgates. They should have had a training mode for us to just sit around and just let that be our enjoyment for the bit. Because personally, this is just me when it comes to fighting games. I love sitting in training mode and just learning different things, figure out different things. Yes, I like competing. I'm a competitor. But, like, I'll put it to you this way. I was so disappointed I turned on that game. And the first thing I go to is training mode is not available. I was like, dang it, because I'm new. I'm like, I just want to sit around. Excuse me. I just want to sit around and learn the game outside of trying to compete with someone who's trying hard online, you know. And then I looked online and other people were saying the same thing. It was like, bro, and there was the other side that was like, look, they don't want that to happen because, you know, they don't want people being master players online. I don't think that excuse is not good enough to cancel training mode. Everybody, you know, I don't know. I didn't like that answer. And like I said, it's just my opinion, but that already left a bad taste in my mouth on top of how long it took to get into a match. It should not take 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes to get into a match. Shout out to them, though. They did acknowledge that was something they want to fix. I heard there's a new beta coming out. Don't know how much of that is true, but that's what I heard, not from them, but from other people. The game itself, like when I was doing the tutorial and, you know, some of the, you know, like matches and all that, I could see this being a really good game. But they have to fix the matchmaking, the connections, and next time, if you want, especially when you have a beta, if you want a new cast of players to come in, you have to have a train. I say this for all fighting games. Gotta have a training mode. Someone like me, I could just go online and learn as I play. That's not going to be the casual fan base. Especially, like some people are saying they don't want to train mode because they want people to be master players. There was a lot of master kind of players online. And if I'm a casual person who don't really, let's say if I was someone who didn't know fighting games like that, but I wanted to dabble just to see, I'm like, okay, this is a new game. This is a new, you know, open beta is free for me to try out. Let me see. And I go in and get, you know, mixed out like crazy. Don't really know the mechanics like that outside of what the tutorial showed me. It can be discouraging. Let's be real. A lot of people leave games because of that. Because they get discouraged. They get online, which is really the only thing that you can do to actually learn the game is to play online. And they get matched up with these, vets, these people who are really good at the game and all that stuff, they're going to leave. And so, personally, for me, they should have had a training mode. They should have had a training mode, and I know some people disagreed with me, but I'm gonna stick by it because I'm thinking about the bigger picture. Yes, people like me, you, who is good at fighting games, just going right online, and we can just learn as we go. That's not the case all that for most of gamers out there, and I'm pretty sure SNK wants to get bigger with their franchise. So open that door. If it's true that there's another beta, I hope they open that door for other players so they can enjoy. And for people like me, like I said, personally, I will turn on some music. This is all right. So for those who don't know, because I don't really show this, when I'm in training mode, I have music on, and I'm just trying something over and over. Then I try something new. Then I go online and learn and see, excuse me, and see how a master player does something. And I take an idea they had and mix it up with mine, and then I come up with new ideas, and then I do this, and then I go and repeat and try to learn the frames on this, what I'm safe on, what I'm not. I love doing that. I will spend hours doing that, not being interfered by somebody who's trying hard on the other side, and that's why I said, in my opinion, for this beta for this game, it's not Street Fighter and Tekken. Street Fighter and Tekken doesn't have to do that, and they're still going to succeed. You know what I'm saying? Mortal Kombat, etc. A game like SNK game, they need to open the floodgates, and hopefully they do that. Here's our training mode. Here's our single player where you can face the CPU. For the casual ones who need to take baby steps into the game. Because you're not going to convince the casual players to pay $60 or $70 to jump into a game that they don't know if they're going to enjoy. So for the beta, for this kind of game, open that for them. Let them sit there and whoop on a low-level CPU just so they can feel confident. I remember back in the day, back in my casual days, I would like that too. I don't want to just jump into people who are out here spamming projectiles, which there are those kind of players online, but I can handle something like that. A lot of casuals complaining about it. It was like, I don't, whatever. But personally, I think Fatal Fury for this game, I'm not speaking for any other, Mortal Kombat shit. For this game, I believe if they are going to have another beta, open the floodgates. Open it show them this is our game. For the next 2 days, you basically have the full game. That's how I believe they should do it. Here's a single player where you can play arcade against the CPU. Here's the training mode. Here's the online mode. That, in my opinion, is a smart business move. Because you're not just here for the core fan base and for the people like us who can just jump online and No, you're also here for those others. And let's be real. As much as some people don't like to hear this, it's true. Them others is what makes the game very successful. Them casuals are what makes the game very successful. So I always look at it I look at that on the business side, and I think that's a smart idea. Anyway, I'm sorry I talked for a while. I want to hear what Maximilian has to talk about with the whole matchmaking, because this is not just this game's issue. There's some other games, Mortal Kombat, Grand Blue, other ones where I'm like, why does it take? Then you look and you see how many people are online. It takes a lot of people. Why is it taking all day for me to get into a match? It should not take. And yes, 5 to 10 minutes is a long time. Somebody made a good point. They was like, it's crazy. Marvel Rivals is probably the fastest get into a game I've ever seen in a game in a long time. And that is to get 12 people into a match. This fighting games is 1v1. Why does it take this long to get into a match? And I agree. SNK had this problem with their beta. But like I said, it was a beta. You give it some slack. But I do hope they fix that. So I'm interested in hearing what his point about is. And by the way, what is with this black screen if you play Fit? What is with that black screen in the middle of a round? That was weird. Anyway, let's hear what he has to say.
There's one thing that this situation has brought upon us is like a realization. It's a realization of how important matchmaking is and the functionality of a game's online modes, where you could even have like a super feature-rich game. You can have all this glitz and glam and amazing systems and everything. You can legit have one of the best fighting games of all time. But if it launches nowadays and it has like those issues, even if it's a fun game, it'll be tough. It'll be a struggle. And I think we're seeing that happen live, like in front of us, when there was not nearly as many options. And obviously rollback netcode and, you know, the quality of the online experience was pretty compromised across the board. Getting a good online fighting game was kind of tough. That really isn't the case nowadays, where it's like, yeah, most games just work, and we have to give credit where credit is due. Like Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6, regardless of how you feel about certain parts of those games online and their functionality, they get you matches, bro.
Yes,
like,
I was saying that.
Games.
Oh, sorry.
It isn't a problem of like, oh, there's a ton of people playing. Of course you're going to find games. You would like to think that, oh, just because there's thousands of people on, that there's a good chance of you finding matches. No, no, no. That is not a guarantee in the world of fighting games, right? It's not a guarantee you're even going to find anybody. Those games have people playing them, and you find matches quick, like really quick. Again, I think the reason that so many of us are being critical of this game in particular is because we're getting a little bit of deja vu from KOF 15. We now have the direct comparison to Street Fighter 6. 15 came out before Street Fighter 6. We're holding it in direct comparison to what Street Fighter 6 and
like I said, I'm new to the SNK franchise, so I didn't know what happened with KOF 15. So I didn't know that was a problem too.
It kind of is. And I don't mean like all the lobbies and the freaks fighting and all that shit. Like, I don't even engage in that shit. But I have like 500 to 600 hours in that game because I just grinded ranked, dude. Like, just finding matches and playing ranked in that game was a breeze. It just felt so good. So you just jump in, click a button, and no matter what screen you're on, where you're at,
that's why I barely, unless I have to, I barely say anything bad about Tekken or Street Fighter. I mean, do I have my critiques on some things? Absolutely. But one thing I will always appreciate about them is that they get me into a match. When I turn on the game, I want to play. I don't want to sit there scrolling through my phone. I can talk to somebody on the phone. I go use the bathroom. Then a match starts. I love how, and for the most part, the servers are great. You know, I get to a match. It's not jumping all over the place, like, you know, skipping. Street Fighter Tekken has that. And I'm glad Maximilian said it. No matter how good a game looks or gameplay and all that, if you have moments to where your fan base is bored and it's like, okay, and then here's the thing, and then there's other games where they don't give you that experience, you can actually enjoy, get into matches left and right. They're just going to turn off that game and go to that. Yeah, you know, I have my little issues of Street Fighter, but at least I get to enjoy this and that, and I can get into a match and enjoy the game with no issues, no black screen, no this, no that. People are going to say that. So, yeah, I'm glad he mentioned that.
Sometimes you find games so fast that I have to get out of training mode because I don't get any time to train anything. Like, that's a good problem,
that's
right?
true.
This problem that a lot of modern fighting games have with, like, matchmaking in some ways. Even games that got, like, rollback updates over time. Let's take, for example, Guilty Gear Accent Core and, like, maybe even Xrd Rev, like Xrd Rev 2. These games got, like, updates, and when those games came out, there was much fewer people playing those games at launch. Sure, hundreds of people, right? But even when you clicked, like, the matchmaking functionality of that shit, it worked. Like, there's not many people playing this shit right now. And yeah, I'm not going to get the best player pool that's close to me, but I was still finding people within a short period of time. If you knew somebody else was on the opposite end and they clicked matchmake and you clicked matchmake and there was not many other people playing, guess who got matchmade? You and that person did. That shit is not guaranteed to happen with some fighting games nowadays, with the way matchmaking works. So again, like, credit where credit is due, Street Fighter 6 figured this shit out. Like, you get games, dude. And there was a problem with it at launch. Like, you only got games against people in your region, and then they opened it up. Tekken 8, another game where I almost exclusively play that game in online modes and ranked.
Same.
Because it's just so easy to find
quick
games.
and easy.
This can be the make it or break it situation for a fighting game. Because if you have what is effectively a niche genre, like, not a genre, a niche franchise, right? Just a niche game in general that doesn't have the largest player pool, the luxury of a world-class, like, you know, player base from across the world, and you need to find the people that are looking for the games in your region or close to your region, and it will not find it, it's a huge fucking problem. I only compare the online experience experience that hopefully gets alleviated in Fatal Fury, because the game is mad fun, to another online experience, to a game that I have a lot of
Now, I
fun with
will say this
sometimes.
about Fatal Fury. So it was new. The mechanics are much bigger than I thought. I thought it was going to be pretty simple, even more simpler than Street Fighter 6. But no, it's actually more to it than I thought. So, not that that's a bad thing. Let me make that clear. But when I was playing it, I'm like, hold on, let me go back to the tutorial real quick. Oh. And then it was something, I can't remember what it was. It was a combo extender that the tutorial doesn't talk about, but I learned it from watching somebody else. I was like, oh. Now, I like that, but it did surprise me. I didn't expect it.
And I really enjoy its characters. This might come as a surprise to you. It's Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1 has some fun shit in it, dude. And
Yes.
like ever since this season and the last season ended into this season, I found several things in that game that are really enjoyable. And it's like, damn, I could play this shit. This game's getting better. But every time I run into that problem or run into that situation, I try to jump online. I'm like, all right, so let's just engage with how the online of this game works. And I'm just fucking waiting. Bored to tears by how much I'm waiting. I'm just sitting here
Went through the
looking
same
at
thing.
these trees
And the
or some
worst
shit.
feeling, too, is when you do that and then you match up with someone who has the worst connection. That is the worst feeling. You wait there. Then you get to a match. You're like, oh, thank God. And then it's a Baraka sector player. And usually those are the ones with the terrible connections. And it's like, bro, I waited for this? It could get annoying.
We're dealing with the barely functional like lobbies that require me to make friends with people before I can even invite them. It's just like, can I just open a room? These issues straight stop me from playing the game, where I'm enthralled about this character. I'm like, this is so cool. And now I have to go and engage the online experience of the game. And by the end of it, I'm just bored to tears or incredibly frustrated. Like, I just want to fight people, dude. I just want to get matches. I just
matches.
wanna, like,
It should
learn
not
how to
take
play the
that. It
game,
should not
and
take
then
that
it's
much
like
to
the
get
game
into a
made it
match.
so hard for you to do that. Right
1v1?
now, it almost feels like the same issues that we were running into with KOF 15, MK1 is happening to Fatal Fury. And the best news again is that they're talking about fixing that shit. They're talking
Which
about
is good.
like,
I'm glad
okay, so
they're
the
talking about it.
Matchmaking is a big problem. In a beta, you should not be waiting 30 to 60 seconds in between matches, much less having like black screens in between every single round.
30 to
We
60
have
seconds,
learned the
man.
importance now
How about
in the
5
game
to
space,
10
now that
minutes?
We have perspective with games that have kind of done it well. This shit has to work, bro. Like, it just does. It has to match you quickly. It has to like make sense. When you click the button, it does the thing in a relatively timely
It's just
order.
weird, a
And even
no
if the game
excuse
has,
time
like,
now
a
where you
training
got games,
mode, right? Even if you had a
12
training
people in
mode,
one
you
match
could
working
fire
well
it
like
up and
Marvel
get shit done,
Rivals.
get games. Like, if it took a long time to
Other
go through that
games
training
like
mode,
that.
it's still a problem, dude. Like, when I click ranked, guess what I want to do? Nothing else but fight people. Don't want
That's
to
it.
look at anything. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to get into games like as quickly as possible. I kind of
Simple.
like stopped playing ranked a couple of times, and even the Fatal Fury beta, just because I'm like, man, I'm sitting around a lot. I'm really sitting around a lot. Unless I'm super invested into this shit, which some people are with MK1, and it's like, I go to them and I'm like, I talk to the MK1 guys.
I'm like that with
you
Granblue.
guys
I'm
have
very
looked at these
invested.
trees
As
in
frustrating
this
as it is to
game, or, like,
wait
Tekken
for a
7
match,
fans, I'm like, you guys have been
because I
waiting for
love the
next
game
battle.
so much, I deal with it. But I understand why some people are just like, I'm going somewhere else because Granblue gotta fix that as their matchmaking. That's another one that takes 5 to 10 minutes. The game been out for a while. What, last December? No. December of 2020. Wait, what is it right now? December of 2023? That's what I'm hoping with this new season. They fix that. We can get into matches quick, fast as possible. And then I look online, there are a lot of people playing. So I don't know why that's the issue, but if I didn't love the game as much as I did, I would have moved on. That's just not something that it's 1v1. It should not take that
hours
much.
of your life, like literally days to weeks of your life, as those things are in front of you and you just wait. That is uncool, bro. The fact that there's that much waiting is not cool. So again, even if this game gets like a lot of the fixes in general, and like some of the netcode issues get fixed, but we don't have a matchmaking system that matches you quickly, people just lose interest. They'll go to something else where they don't have to wait nearly as much.
Especially the
All I'm
casuals.
trying to say with the conclusion of this thought process is that netcode specifically isn't everything. It really isn't. Oh, now we got great online. We're good. Guilty Gear, and I'll say for me personally, Guilty Gear Strive pretty much had to stop playing it because I just couldn't get matches because of the way like its park system worked and all the arcade machines broke constantly. It stopped me from playing it. Online is amazing for the fucking game, you know? MK1, a game that I really enjoy, but the online experience has me waiting forever, and it's a slog to actually fight people. But I'm really enjoying some characters. I love Conan in that game, dude, and Noob Saibot's incredible.
I hope they fix
and
it.
even Takeda, stop playing.
Combat Pack 3, let's get it. Let's get Combat Pack 3
at the end of the night. But guess what? 2 fighting games are out now that have pretty decent online. Street Fighter 6 is like the top standard.
Yes.
But Tekken 8 is pretty decent online. But in both of those games, you get matches, dude. You are matched up quick,
and that's why I be sticking with them.
I just sit here in that 4 to 5 hour span of me playing that game, and pretty much for like, no kidding, like 4 hours of that, 75 to 80% of that, I'm fighting people, dude. I'm doing nothing else but fighting people. I think that's really valuable nowadays. And if devs don't realize it, man, it could be the nail in the coffin for like the launch of a fighting game. But again, the best news about Fatal Fury is that the devs are acknowledging it at least, dude. This isn't a KOF 15 situation again, where it's like everyone's screaming to the devs, and they're like, no, it's fine, we fixed it. And it's
I didn't know it. Yeah, like I said, I didn't know anything about that.
Fixed. And then they eventually fixed it, and it's like, oh, thank God. At least they're like acknowledging that there is a problem. Anyway, I like this game, dude.
And it's a beta. Like I said, I was giving it a break, and it's a beta.
We're just gonna find even more shit,
but
as we play through it more.
Shout out to him. But yeah, it's a beta. That's why you didn't see me make any videos complaining, because, you know, it's a beta. That's why it's out, to see what needs to be fixed. I mean, I think if I could have made a video talking about some issues and show some clips, but I didn't want to come across as that person who was like, oh, he's complaining on the beta, this and that, but I should have at the same time. Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything he said. He kind of said some of the things I already said, and we're on the same page. It's really no excuse. It's 1v1. It should not take, you know, this long to get into a match unless your game is dead, which a lot of these games are not dead. Thousands is enough players to match up, you know. And like a friend of mine told me, he's like, bro, I can't even get up to use the bathroom in Marvel Rivals. As soon as the game's done, you hit match up. You go like this, and the game turns back on. You're like, oh, all right, next time. The game's over. Oh, you literally have to don't hit ready up. And that's 12 people in a match. 12 people, 12 different, excuse me, 12 different internet situations, so on and so forth. Living in different places works well, which I also would give that company a lot of credit for, because only once or twice in all the times I played Marvel Rivals, I dealt with bad connection. And that is a great thing. Only once or twice. But, yeah. And again, I stand by what I said. On the next beta, if that is a thing, they need to open up the game. They need to. They need to. More than the next beta needs to have more than what they just had. For the casuals, for people like me, like I said, I like having my headphones on, sitting down, you know, just trying out different things. Especially since I'm new to the franchise. What's this character got? Because they got one thing I give them credit for. They gave you a lot of characters to try out, but I'm be sitting there annoyed trying to learn if just figure out something in a chill way while this other person is sitting there trying hard to rank up on a beta. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, can you chill? We're just sitting here we're just trying to figure stuff out. And I don't know the people y'all matched up with, but I usually get the ones who are, you know, it's like life and death to them. It's like, dude, okay, relax. You can still try to win. It's okay. You know, I just want to figure something out here. Give me a second. But everybody plays how they want to. That's why they need to have a training mode for the casuals, even for people who are not casuals. Have that single player up. This is, yeah. I will say, if you want a bigger fan base, you got to do like Street Fighter Tekken them do. You got to embrace the casual people. You know, just a word of advice. And I'm pretty sure they know that. They just got to see if they're going to act on it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll check you later.